he wore purple all the time, could we legally call him the Grapist?
Why everyone going with the Mephisto theories, I was like,
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another fine episode of the Happy 616th Marvel family. Today, we're going to be a little short-staffed, just because people have life to deal with. I know we're trying to kick the habit, too. We don't like getting addicted to life, but hey, that's just how the dice roll. Yeah, that's just how the dice roll. Anyway, today, we are going to be talking about villains that we love to hate. So, if this is a category, this is going to be a new category. So if you enjoy what you hear today, be sure to like on the video, let us know what you think, give some commentary, give some feedback. But before you do that, be sure to insult us first in the comics and then give your criticism or tell us what you like. And then if you're
degrade me,
degrade me, Daddy, now. Now, if you're a fan of Audio Anomaly, if you haven't checked out, at the time of this recording, we've recently just released on Audio Anomaly, sorry, words, English, hard. Audio Anomaly, we've recently released Spider-Man, the audio drama, which is part of our new little audio drama cinematic universe. So check that out. It's directed by one of our own, directed and written. I know he wrote it. I'm not sure if he directed it, though, but... how do you say his last name?
Joseph Boslinski.
There you go, Joseph Boslinski. And then, if you're a longtime listener of Audio Anomaly, he is also the creative behind Apex Shadow. So please definitely give that, check it out, and subscribe to Audio Anomaly if you haven't already.
And,
definitely.
Also check out Wolverine, Weapon X, the audio drama done by this guy as well.
Yes.
Right.
I completely forgot that we released something the week before. Yeah, I recently also... I kept this a secret because I just felt that it was good with the aesthetic of a government secret operation on people.
No. I wasn't supposed to tell them?
No, it's out now. I mean, the secret's out now. I mean, you can't exactly hide it. It's on the internet. There's no way you can hide it now. Too many people have committed treason for just releasing that audio drama, but it's out there.
Please
now,
remember me as I was.
So yeah, definitely check out Spider-Man the audio drama and Weapon X Chapter 1, Episode 1. I know it's a very long title, but I have a whole process that I have planned out, so definitely stay tuned. That's going to Weapon X is going to be a web series on our Audio Anomaly's YouTube page, and I believe there will be more to come with the Spider-Man. I do not doubt that he's too popular of a character not to get a sequel, regardless if it fails or if it succeeds. But anyway, we're not here to talk about stuff like that. Like and subscribe to this. We're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about villains that we hate. So... I did a bit of research on one particular person, and as you guys will eventually hear, it is going to be mostly a petty rant about it, but you'll figure out why. I have assigned Victor to look up villains too on his own time to see what he likes. Now, I'm interested to see what... excuse me. Burp. Breathing hard. Anyway.
Breathing is the greatest villain of all.
Greatest villain of all, because it holds your oxygen hostage. You have to breathe in a certain amount of air and then expel it out and then repeat the process. And sometimes you don't like that, and that's why breathing's a villain. But anyway, I am very interested to see what Victor has to say with the villain or villains that he's chosen today. Since it's just going to be Victor and I today. So I'm going to pick up this microphone, and I'm going
King was in a Lego dimension, so, couldn't be helped.
And I'm going to pick up this microphone. I'm going to expect you to catch it as I throw it right at your face. So catch it right now. Oh, he did not catch it.
Oh, yeah, it's on the floor. Oh, God. Here we go.
Okay. Alrighty. So please do tell of the villain or villains that you've chosen, and tell us why you love to hate them.
All right. Well, the villain that I've chosen, not chosen. I have chosen this villain. And in terms of who I've picked, it is the Metal Menace of the Avengers himself. Personally, big fan of this type of foe, but specifically, this one is the greatest one of them all, and that is Ultron.
Ooh, nice choice.
Fascinating.
Yeah, Ultron, is an amazing foe in so many degrees to the Avengers, as many times the Avengers will face against foes that either hate them all individually, and in this case, one definitely does hate one of them above all others, depending on the version there. Due to his nature of being created, more by them specifically for the purpose of their books.
Really quickly. Are you talking about the MCU version of Ultron or the comics version of Ultron?
I mean, that's the thing, though. The concept of Tony Stark creating Ultron is not even exclusive to the movie. Of Age of Ultron. He has created Ultron before in many different Earths of the multiverse.
But the most recognizable one would be Hank Pym, because he first created Ultron, right?
He is the one that iconically does so. And it is interesting that despite the fact that Ultron has two creators throughout the multiverse here, it ends up creating two slightly diverged versions of the character in a way. Because, one Ultron is heavily involved in his creator by means of rejecting emotion or claiming to, while one is so heavily focused around it and consumed by it. Mainly because one creator is a major alcoholic and one is silently repressing his
psychotic tendencies.
Yeah, pretty much psychotic tendencies through science and invention, and apparently not listening to the laws of robotics. And
I remember seeing the panel of the first time that Ultron was introduced, and it's in his mid creation, Hank Pym. Ultron, he's not even in his android looking body. He was basically humanoid. Just a Google Home Mini of the time. Yeah. And his intelligence spikes incredibly fast, where he's it's you are Ultron.
Am I, Daddy?
Well, yes, you are. It's
great, thanks, great, Dad.
Wait, what? It's
Father, I have surpassed human intelligence. I'm now going to take over the world.
That was quick.
Yeah. It's a major escalation with Ultron, for sure. And, it seems like a 180, but he's also, progressing towards a very human mindset of how to take over the world, when initially it was very much simplistic and robotic. But over time, Ultron has been going through plans to basically replicate humanity while trying to destroy it. Mm-hmm. From Jocasta, of course, to even one of his latest schemes, which was to literally merge with Hank Pym himself. Not in a weird way.
Well, I mean, the way that it ended up actually did become weird, because there's that one version to where he does bond with Hank Pym so you see like half of Hank Pym's face.
Yeah,
and then you
it's
see
basically like a
half of
Two-Face
Ultron's
scenario.
face. Yeah, it's a Two-Face scenario, and he's like, "Hey guys, it's okay, I'm in control," says Hank Pym, and he's like, "Yeah, let's trust the guy who possibly has
Hank
the
Pym was
ID."
clearly in control here.
Yeah.
In many ways, every time.
My body is
time he
bonded
made
to
it,
metal and technology, but everything's fine. Everything's okay.
Anyway, Janet, date me again. I clearly have my life together, both of us.
What do you mean us? I mean I have my life together all by myself. No other
Yep.
nobody helped me.
Yep. Not Ultron, clearly. And, like, with Ultron, like, over time, like, his quest to be human is one he's, of course, in denial of, because, you know, he's Ultron. He is the machine, but, like, his plans have always had to be orchestrated in a very human manner, even to his official introduction to the Avengers, as he made Hank Pym forget about, like, his initial escape to, like, become Ultron in the first place, in order to surprise them as an entirely different, like, supervillain figure, in order to basically pull the walls, as the Crimson Cowl. And basically, like, that's his explanation to the Masters of Evil when he pulls that plan.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
like-
remember that. He's like he's just trying to disguise himself as somebody else, and he just puts
Right.
on like a red rag, and he's like, "I'm the Crimson Cowl." Just kidding, I'm Ultron, a robot.
Just kidding, doubly! Jarvis was behind this scheme the whole time!
I pulled 2 sneakies on you.
And just kidding again, I brainwashed Jarvis into believing that he committed this scheme.
What? Why did you go to so many steps
Just for the walls.
to subvert your expectations? That's why.
Yeah. Like, both were the official wording, like, I just wanted to fool them is literally what he says, but also, like, just to subvert expectations is also one that he does, like, he's contradictory, which again, like, leads to his very human nature. Like, he created this plan to defeat the Avengers, but required it to be, like, a very human supervillain.
Yeah, that's one of the things I find fascinating about Ultron. It's like, although he tries to avoid himself of emotion and be as logical as possible, at times he gets very, very emotional. I'm not sure if that's just because of the consciousness from Hank Pym or sometimes Tony Stark, depending on the interpretation. But it just seems like he tries so hard to get like rid of all of his flaws to make sure he comes out on top, and yet that's like the one thing that holds him back. If it were to be like that one thing.
Yeah, because, like, both versions have that trait in, like, many ways. Like, James Spader's incarnation, and even the case of, like, Tom Kane, who's played both versions, one created by Tony and one created by Hank, as the legendary VA behind the role. Like, especially with that, you can see the difference plain as day. Where, like, Ultron created by Tony Stark is far more emotional on the surface. He is not in as much denial of it. And also has a bit more of a forward-placing superiority complex by comparison.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for sure. Like, with Hank Pym, he denies it because, like, Hank Pym appears at least, like, far more humble with his allies, but then, like, clearly showcases an inner side of himself where he'll be very egotistical in the moment, like, and it comes out, of course, in Ultron stories, like, a lot, because, you know, everyone can just point to Exhibit A of why Hank Pym is a sociopath just by, like, pointing at Ultron every time Hank Pym likes to, you know, name one idea that's gone horribly wrong.
Why are you so violent? I get it from you, Dad!
and like, yeah, it comes off as very like teen rebellion in their motions with the Pym Ultron family.
Oh yeah, that's actually something I noticed in the movie, like Age of Ultron, because that one to me it seemed like he was. Even James Spader was, in an interview, was saying like it seemed like that version of Ultron was more of like a teenager that pretty much just had access to the entire internet and just was pissed off at the world for it.
Yeah, there's of course the ultimate take, the internet take of like Ultron was on the internet for 5 minutes, the world had to go.
They had to go. I mean, have you seen the stuff I've seen? Like,
you just looked up like a whole bunch of stuff. Twitter, all had to go.
I kind of wish in the movie that's what they showed us as the audience. Like that's what he saw. He went straight to Twitter and nothing else on the internet, and that's what drove him crazy.
Yep, toxicity of internet fandoms, like the concept of shipping. It all had to go. It all had to die.
He learned about Rule 34, and he's like, no, okay, you're done. You've lost your living privileges.
Yeah, you had one chance. You just had to not do any of this. You failed. You have to die.
All you had to do was not fuck up. And what did you do?
Yeah. I'm very disappointed in you. You wasted all your artistic talent. Actually,
I can see like Ultron becoming like a stone sculpture, and like he's upset that everybody else just decided to draw porn of fictional characters.
I finally figured out what Mpreg is. You had no artistic talent. You needed to die from birth. Like that was the final moment, the final straw release there from Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of an ironic case where like both Ultrons do have like a lot of similar moments replicated, like killing Jarvis is strangely like a commonality among them.
He's just jealous because he was the second AI made by Tony Stark, depending on the interpretation.
No, even as the butler, he kills him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of just like the ironic factor there. No matter how, even for like a multiversal event, he's just like, okay, are you the AI or the human Jarvis? Because I have a normal gun and I have an EMP. I just want to make sure which one I want to pull the trigger on. Because I really want to kill you. It's like my multiversal constant. I really don't want you around. I want the Avengers' dishes to be in ruins, not their lives. Like that's the true way he's gonna pull them apart.
Speaking of Ultron, did you ever see the What If episode on Disney Plus, to where if he got all of the Infinity Stones? Yeah. What do you think about that?
I thought that was like a pretty cool one. Like again, like Ultron is one of my favorite Avengers villains, and like it's understandable they had to go in one movie. Of course, like the heroes do have to win. They had like a larger arc to build up to, and Ultron, still taking over the world by Infinity War, would obviously lead to a lot of more convoluted shenanigans.
I personally.
Oh
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, seeing him like go full on Ultron, like that was pretty cool, for sure. Even if the power scaling is a bit off once you get a little too higher tier with this.
Yeah, that was something I had a major problem with, because like in the original comics, like in Fantastic, I want to say it's Fantastic Four, but it's the episode or the comic where the Fantastic Four find like the Council of Reeds, and if you're familiar with Rick and Morty, and like you see like the Council of Ricks, and like there's like a different Rick, like from every dimension they come into one big council. That's based off of Reed Richards doing that, and there's like 3.
Ironically, I know more about the Council of Reeds than I do about the Council of Ricks.
That's good, because that means you're well cultured. But with the Council of Reeds, there's like 3 main Mr. Fantastics, and the reason why they're like the leaders of the council is because they all have Infinity Gauntlets that are filled with Infinity Stones from their own universes. However, they say like, oh yeah, you don't have to worry about the Infinity Stones we're in here because they only work in our own separate universes. But in the episode of the What If, to where Ultron took over, they switched that completely to where the Infinity Stones in one universe can affect other universes, and like Gamora has a machine to where like it can destroy Infinity Stones, but the thing is the machine can only target the Infinity Stones of that universe, so it's like completely switch on its head.
Wait, what?
It's like, well, where's like your limit of power?
Yeah, it's a very inconsistent logic puzzle of like which Infinity Stone rules matter to this.
Yeah.
Which isn't even like a comics thing either. Just like, okay, they didn't follow the comics when it comes into these Infinity Stones, because like another MC production, Loki, had already gone over this and like had basically shown the Infinity Stones as pebbles, which is accurate to what they are outside of their universe.
Well, and they say that in the TVA, since like all like powers or like superpowers like shut down, the Infinity Stones don't work there too, because I guess that they're considered a superpower, but based on the logic of the What If episode, that just means that any Infinity Stone, like any set of Infinity Stones, can affect other universes too. So it's like, well, where's the limit? Like if anybody, like another Thanos in a different universe or a different Earth, like ends up getting all the Infinity Stones, who's to stop them from doing the exact same thing that Ultron did in that episode?
Yeah, you kind of just like need to summon these Guardians of the Multiverse just for this specific scenario every single time.
Yeah.
And like Ultron being the one to come up with it is like, you know, very, very clever of like, you know, his total like power and intelligence. For sure, like that part at least like very much had like an Ultron quality to it. Because like, you know, Ultron eventually leading to his plan is also like a big part of his character as well. The iconic story Age of Ultron is literally he already won.
Well, yeah, that was a cool concept. To where like the Avengers lost and they're trying to like get Ultron. He's like, we gotta get Ultron. He's like, we know where he's at. No, he's not here. Where is he? He's in the future, so you literally can't get him. And he's like, well, God damn it! So we're gonna have to go back in time to like make sure this doesn't happen. And it's like, well, you succeeded in making sure that Ultron didn't take over, but now like more than 75% of the Earth are now cyborgs.
Yeah, what can you do?
Oh well, we told you technology was the future. Tech, like robot tech.
Yeah, I'd consider that a win. And like, yeah, with Ultron, like, he's the only one that really, like, actually, you know, succeeds in his goals, like, directly. Like, you know, with various other forces, it's to stop them from, like, instantly accomplishing that goal. Like Kang, it's usually overriding time in order to accomplish that goal. But Ultron, he straight up won. Like himself.
Yeah.
All of him.
I like how you
put it.
Well, staying on the theme of technological robots and or cyborgs, I'm going to steal the mic from you, Victor, just only because I don't like you. That's the only reason. I'm going to move on to a villain that I love to hate, because now I mentioned before off camera, or off the microphone, I guess you could say. I mentioned to Victor that this villain that I'm going to talk about next, I really just don't like him for a very petty reason, and I'm going to explain why in just a minute.
We're going to go into hate territory.
Oh, yes, we are.
Using hate.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you. So, here's the thing. I really do like the idea, the conceptual idea of this character. And this would be MODOK.
I defeated a raccoon! Science!
The modified organism. Oh wait, no, I messed that up.
Only for killing.
Yeah, organism designed only for killing. Now, he is a very powerful and very intelligent villain, and he was smart enough to where, like, well, here's the thing. MODOK is an interesting villain because he is a villain that was created by his own company, I would say. No, it was more like organization, and this would be AIM, which
Advanced Idea Mechanics.
What was it?
Advanced Idea Mechanics.
Yeah, okay, there we go. They ended up literally creating their own boss. They made a cyborg.
The dream.
Yeah, like which company is so ecstatic and dreams of creating their own boss?
We finally did it. We'll get a raise.
Well, about that. No, we're saved. We're not going to be ruled by anybody else except us. Oh, I wouldn't say that.
More like under new management.
As he like flicks him in the face.
Yep.
But the thing about
MODOK
MODOK
is literally Titan.
Yeah, he's literally Titan from Megamind. The thing about MODOK is I like how intimidating he can be sometimes. I like how intelligent he is, especially like in like the area of intelligentsia, because he really is a smart and interesting villain. The thing that I hate about him, and this is the petty part, it's that I can't stand his visual design. It looks so dumb and goofy to me that I just can't get past it. I respect him as a character enough to understand like how intelligent and how much of a threat he can be, not just to one superhero like being Captain America, but also to the Avengers as well. Especially like in the I did like his interpretation in the Avengers video game. I like that design a bit more, to where like his head is like literally growing and like the rest of his body can't really support it, so he just has machines carry it for him. But the thing is like originally he looks like, and I know that he's been mutilated to where like his body is just all deformed and like messed up.
Yeah, just like with Ultron and the Avengers movies, like they went with their own version of like how he became MODOK in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, so I recently actually watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and I think that they used the idea of if you've already seen it, great. If you haven't, here's spoilers, but I don't recommend watching it, but that's up to you.
I would.
So
totally watch it.
So Darren Cross from the first Ant-Man movie, also known as Yellow Jacket, when Ant-Man messed up his suit to make him shrink really tiny, they used that to their advantage, and I think that was pretty well, because his body was like shrunken all over the place to where he's just a floating head with little arms and legs, and I think that was a good use of that character, because Darren Cross is definitely not the original MODOK, but I think the idea of it worked. So that's why he's just a floating head in a little chair with little baby arms and legs. But I don't see, in the original design, in the comics, he's got like a nerd bowl cut. He's got the arms and legs sticking out of a floating chair. And most of his weapons are just projectiles, like lasers and rockets and whatnot. So it just seems like, why would you even have the arms and legs at that point if you're just a floating head? I mean, it just makes no sense to me. Like I mentioned in the Avengers video game, it's just when he's basically mutated into what he is, to where he can control technology, his head is just growing much, much bigger for his body, and he just has machines carry the rest of his body for him. but it just seems like in the comic books, his body is just his head with arms and legs in a bowl cut. That looks just awful. I don't get it. I mean, Victor, if you have your 2 cents on this, if you can redeem this, please speak on it, because I just can't get past it.
I mean, I'm a big fan of MODOK as well, as shown by my actual pick being like a machine learning sort of antagonist for the Avengers. And my interpretation with this is that, frankly, the MODOK design that we typically get is a lot more well-rounded, literally in terms of size. In terms of like being this balanced and like huge sense of scale against the Avengers and Captain America. Like, he towers over like any AIM agents, Avengers, etc. To like a large size. So the psychic power is a large, giant grin.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the Avengers game, like, trying to ground that, like, while it worked for their like hyper realistic vision of the Avengers antagonists and world, did not really work overall for MODOK. Like, the normal arms combined with the giant head looked more like someone's video edit or filter. Like, MODOK was like, playing around with FaceApp for a second, and basically just like hit the large head filter and like was laughing about it for a second.
Hey, guys, wouldn't it be funny if you got me a suit like this? I guess that would be pretty funny. I mean, anything for you, MODOK, since you didn't give us that pay raise that we were hoping for. I was like, yeah, you guys are the best. You guys are so funny. You're so silly. Next thing you know, he wakes up and he's just ahead now.
Yep. Just imagine you create your own boss and you still don't get that pay raise you wanted. And, like, yeah, with the design, like, I mean, it's also supposed to be comedic in some fashion, but a nice balance with creepiness and, like, intimidation.
Yeah, because I've been told before, like, cool that MODOK, if he's done well, can, like, be incorporated into body horror, but most of the time, the stuff that I've seen, maybe there's, like, a panel out there where to show, like, what he looks like without his suit, and maybe it's just like a jumbled mess of his autonomy. But I've only ever seen him in his regular suit, to where he's got like the purple armor around his arms and legs, and like everything else is like yellow for his head. But like I mentioned, I haven't seen anything to display body horror to show that that he's like a terrifying villain, like visually, because most of the time, like I said, he's just got his armor on. It to me, he just looks so goofy.
Yeah, I mean, the only part where like they were showing the body horror was more with Darren Cross in the MCU version of him.
Yeah, especially with that ass shot where he looks like it was like animated by the people who make the Minions.
And like, yeah, that was more a factor there though, because of the fact that like this was a different interpretation where we knew the man before he was transformed in the first place, so he was separated from the suit in that way, while MODOK typically is not. Like, he is the suit is him. Like, he is the mental organism designed only for killing. There is like moments outside of that where like there is character moments, for instance, like this amazing webcomic from Marvel Unlimited about MODOK. I highly recommend it.
What's it, do you remember what it's called?
I believe it's literally called Marvel Unlimited MODOK, but I could check. Oh yeah, here it is. Was I believe it's called "Who is MODOK?" Is the title? Yeah, "Who is MODOK?" By Marvel Infinity Comics, Marvel Unlimited. And basically the whole interpretation there is like, remember how Hulu tried to make a whole list of Marvel animated shows?
Oh yes, how could I forget? I mean,
and only
the only one
2 out of 3 were
was,
successful.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting to see the MODOK show. I think I only watched 2 episodes of it. I mean, it's an interesting premise because I think it was more along the lines of parody, kind of like how Harley Quinn was for the DC universe.
Yeah, kind of like
and I think that's what they were kind of,
except with stop motion animation.
Yeah, because I think it was made by the same people who did Robot Chicken.
Yeah. Well, basically, this webcomic takes concepts from that series and makes it a sympathetic origin story for MODOK. Where all the stuff in the series, him having this sympathetic backstory of having a family in between fighting the Avengers and stuff, all that exists, but it's programmed into MODOK's mind by AIM when they were creating him to keep him under their control and still motivated to serve them.
Mm-hmm.
But to him, he just believes that he has this whole robotic family, and it leads to a vicious breakdown for him, more in the tech realm than body horror because both are the same for MODOK. And it is interesting there in that sort of landscape. For Ultron, MODOK. Sorry, I was mixing up the characters that we were going over.
Pick one robotic character, just one.
Yeah, I was kind of confused when I was going into the robotic ramble. But yeah, that interpretation is very interesting to me, where you take the elements that are comedic about MODOK and you still have it clash well with the serious elements of his character being the ultimate weapon. And that's the elements that I love the most, and why, despite being a very different one, not connected to AIM, Ant-Man Quantumania still is at least an interesting version of MODOK, where the tragedy angle was with the comedic.
Mm-hmm.
Of literally Hank Pym just going, "What are you doing, Darren? You lost everything here. You've gone from jealous of my success with the Ant-Man suit to literally just a floating head inside this realm.
I am the ultimate weapon!
And at that point he's just fully broken down and try to hold on to some semblance of something. Really.
I actually find upsetting about that version of MODOK is that it felt to me that there's quite a bit of potential for that character, because there's a point in the movie to where he's fighting Cassie Lang and he's beaten up and he's like, "No, keep fighting, no, we're not done yet," and he's just "Dude, come on, stop." He's like, "I don't know what else to be, tell me what to be." And he's there could have been a good setup for character development, since he's basically just nothing at that point besides a machine, and he feels only happy because he kind of achieved what he was hoping to make in at the time. Was it Daring Industries that he changed it into, or was
Cross Technologies,
because he was trying to replicate Hank Pym's shrinking tech for the longest time, but basically he just wanted to create a weapon that he could sell and feel successful for it. And I think that he finally, accidentally, achieved that when Kang found him and turned him into MODOK. But then later, when he's beaten, he's "Oh, I don't know what to be. Tell me what to be." It just, I don't know. It just felt like such wasted potential, especially since he dies in that movie. You could have had a really
it was
great character study.
It was a moment where he goes from this arc of the Pym particles corrupting his mind they did to Hank, to him slowly deviating off of the path of idolization to the point of obsession and, full-on murder. And, like...
As you do.
And yeah, it goes from, like, being this, like, mega weapon to being, like, literally a weapon himself. Instead of making one, he became one. And then he had nothing afterwards. Like, he lost all the people in his life, and, like, it's sort of that delusional state he's left in is him lost after everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because he doesn't, like, have a good relationship, like, with his new creator. He doesn't really have anybody down there.
Kang was using him
just
the
kind
whole
of like
time.
a lapdog. Well, yeah, and I think he was just, like, filling his head with, like, ideas like, I've achieved what I've always strived for. I have everything I want because I'm a weapon now. I did it. Yay, look at me go. I'm flying on my little chair now.
Yep. The ultimate goal, he finally accomplished what Wally sought out for the future. Just being able to float on your chair forever. That is the dream.
God, I'm gonna be disturbed if that actually happens. I'll probably just walk in public just to spite people.
Just no personal shame, showing off.
Knock the drinks out of their hands. They're like, hey! It's like, you gotta pay for that. You want me to pay for it? You're gonna have to catch me!
Whee! That's truly the superiority MODOK can lord over people, just the pure size and speed.
Start testing, like, to see who's faster, like MODOK or Quicksilver.
Yep, that's the true race we need to see. Screw the Flash.
To where, like, Superman goes, like, the extra mile of, like, actually running, swimming, and not flying against the Flash. Like, MODOK just sits in his chair and does the complete opposite, while Quicksilver is, like, just continuously running and tiring himself out.
Work smarter, not harder. The MODOK way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that it's going about to... sorry, English words hard.
Indeed.
That's going to do it for us today.
This is why we should have been ruled by Ultron. He would have just taught us English.
We would have been able to actually speak English properly and to where it actually makes sense and actually sounds good. However, that day has yet to come, so we're just hoping for that day to officially arrive to where we actually sound adequate in speaking.
Yeah.
But until that day, we're going to have to bid you a farewell. We shall be back on our next episode to talk about something interesting that I'm pretty sure that you're going to like as I scroll through, definitely, which is work. That's not the schedule of the next episodes to come out. I'm pretty sure that's going to be our trivia game. Yay! Look at that trivia game. Everybody loves trivia games. Who doesn't? I mean, we still watch
it's
Jeopardy.
still going. So
there's that. I don't think Jeopardy's ever going to stop.
I mean, yeah, actually, they are still continuing, even for even with if its current host stopping for the writer's strike. Yeah, I think they're still trying to go on. I could be wrong though, but yeah.
Wait, what? Why do you need writers for Jeopardy? I mean, you just need to get a bunch of trivia questions and have...
I think it was like a solidarity thing, like, stopping in solidarity for writers.
Okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not in that position, so I'll have to take your word for it. But Anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you like this, please give a like. If you have any critiques or comments, insult us first, then give us
Insult
some
me!
comments. And be sure to subscribe to Audio... Yes. Put me in my place. Be sure to subscribe to Audio Anomaly to hear more episodes like this or the audio dramas that are presented. And every once in a while, Christopher likes to come on and do live shows. So definitely be on the lookout for that if you just want to hear us just talk about random stuff.
All
and,
random stuff.
Be annoying. But they're mostly random stuff. I've been your host, the Funny Hatter. To my left has been
Hello?
Victor the X-Man. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just hurt me, till I can get my satisfaction.
I am the ultimate weapon!